Alright everyone, we've had a lot of fun with leftist bootlickers lately because of course they've gotten to the point where they really do like governments and billionaires, big corporations and stuff, as long as they're aiming their shit at a small select group within the population that they've been primed to believe are like Nazis or something. This involves most of the population, but, you know, these people, they're not exactly playing with a full mental deck at times. But now, it's so great. It's like a gift from God to watch the hypocrisy and in some cases the amusing irony of Kamalaharris fans. Because it's like, you saw the Sean King probably tweet how, like, last year he was like, well, if there are two people I can't really support, it's Biden and Kamala because they're an abysmal track record, tough on crimers. Uniquely, the two people, the presidential candidate for the Democrats and the running mate right now are the two most tough on crime people they could have chosen. It's actually hysterical. This passes for a moderate ticket. And then, of course, he sold out. And so he's become a heel licker now. And he's like, oh, female vice president, oh my god, that would be so great. And they're like gushing over her. Yes, okay. So don't worry about the fact that she and Biden combined, if you look at their track record, are responsible for more human misery among the lower classes, especially within urban constituencies, people who are non-white, which is supposedly a big selling point for the ticket, is Kamalaharris happens to be a person of color. And of course, it's funny because they say that she's black, but then they reiterate Jamaican, and of course she has South Asian ancestry. And so they can't quite wrap their heads around how they're going to angle it as a wedge issue. And it's just all fumbled up. But it's a good fit with Biden because, you know, if it were a sensible thing, obviously it wouldn't fit in with his particular MO. But, like, watching these people become heel lickers and circle the wagons around Kamalaharris, despite all of the bad things about her record, and in some cases in spite of previous comments they themselves have made to the effect of they would never support her, they disliked her, they found her unlikable, they thought she was being smarmy, she attacked other Democrats too much in some cases. At several of the debates she got rather fiery. She's a poor debater in general. She doesn't give good interviews. That's definitely a thing. It's funny to see all of these same people all of a sudden, because she is now the one who has been chosen by Biden, and because they got Trump derangement syndrome so bad, they're like, fuck it. And it's going to be hilarious to watch her debate Mike Pence. It's going to be even funnier than with Biden and Trump, I think, and I'll tell you why. Kamalaharris can't run on her record. She can't even talk about her time as Attorney General. What the fuck is she going to talk about? Her truancy reform, putting parents in jail for up to a year because their kid missed the school bus? Yeah, that's going to go well. Yeah, the Democrats right now having a conversation about how much they want to defund the police by or whether they want to disband the ID altogether, but you get Kamalaharris in there as your fucking vice president. If ever there was a symbol that the DNC had rejected people like Bernie Sanders and AOC, other than the fact that they're not even letting AOC, I believe, speak at the convention, Kasich is on, AOC is off. Don't you see what's going on, leftists? You do realize that, correct? Harris is just a throwaway. He chose her. It's basically political affirmative action. The whole idea is just, hey, look, my vice president will be black and female. By the way, I'm kind of out to lunch, so she'll probably be the acting president within the first couple of years anyway. Fucking vote for me, and a person who would never get elected on her own merits will be in office. I happen to still believe that it's unlikely that Biden will win. I think he's toast at the debates. I think they will move the metric. I think you've got an outsized enthusiasm gap. And things are wonky right now. Lichtman, actually, the Keys to the White House dude, he came out. Now he's predicting Biden will win, which puts him at odds with the primary forecast model, which has accuracy on the same order. Regardless of who wins, by the way, at least one of the main, most reliable metrics used to gauge elections will be wrong. Either the Keys to the White House, which apply to all of the races since the 1980s, with one exception. I think with Gore Bush, I think the metric would have said that Gore would have won. Obviously, that was wrong. With the primary model, you can go back 100 years, and there are only 3 instances in which it was wrong in a centuries period. Similar levels of accuracy overall. I'm still predicting an 80% chance, or 85% chance, rather, of Trump winning at the moment. I don't know whether Kamalaharris getting aboard the Biden bus is going to help or harm the campaign. I can't wait to see if there's a polling differential in the coming weeks. I can't wait to see new polling because I have a feeling in-party Democrats, partisans, they're going to support whoever it is. They were going to support Biden, Bernie, Kamala, Buttigieg, whoever was the nominee, 90% of them will fall on board. It's just the way that it works in partisan politics. The problem comes out to enthusiasm at that point. Trump's enthusiasm among Republicans is higher than Ronald Reagan. Meanwhile, they had to force Kamala Harris down people's throats. The same legacy media outlets, the same public figures, the same political figures, the same commentators, including independent commentators who are tacitly on the Biden train because they hate Trump. Virtually all of these people tried to dissuade Biden from choosing Kamala Harris. They said this is a uniquely bad decision to make. She looks like she's going to try to upstage you. That's been a concern. And they can call it racist and sexist all they want because she happens to be female and black. But that's not racism or sexism. She has that particular attitude. If Trump had gotten somebody aboard who was all fiery, like a Sarah Palin-style person, there would have been the same criticism. He decided to have nice, genteel Mike Pence who can sit there very quietly, looking like a statue. And I think that that was a good choice, although I think there were better choices that he could have made, and it pissed me off at the time because I'm not interested in the Jesus bullshit that Mike Pence is still basically part of. That being said, Kamala Harris has that problem. People criticized her for her record because, again, as an overzealous prosecutor and a minor Senate figure, someone who really is more known for the prosecutorial side of the career, at this particular time is the worst time to have her on board the campaign, especially in such a major role. The problem is that the Democrats have completely lost it when it comes to police and crime and justice and order versus chaos. That sort of civic argument the Democrats have lurched very far left on. That's where all the enthusiasm is too. The enthusiasm is among people that were dumb enough to think that Bernie Sanders was going to be the nominee. They declared, right, even still now, some of these people still harbor bitter fantasies about Joe Biden having his next inevitable aneurysm, and it's Bernie out of nowhere. Kamala Harris takes on Bernie as the running mate, I guess, at that point. Wouldn't that be funny? President Kamala Harris, Vice President Bernie Sanders. Oh my God, what a clown show that would be. But I mean, it's already a freak show. People are licking her heels, and they're overlooking everything about her record, her overzealous truancy bullshit, her support of tax hikes on the middle class, which she still, to this day, gaslights people on having supported. All of the shitty things that she did as a prosecutor and as a senator, and all of the lies, the transparent lies that she's told. You can't listen to a Tupac album two years before Tupac releases an album. Now, can you, Kamala? Well, apparently she's magical. She's got a magic wand. It's even cooler than Donald Trump's. His magic wand fixes the economy. Her magic wand allows her to manifest music out of thin air that hasn't even been made yet. It's a very intelligent individual, very, very occult. Come on, look at the debates. It's not a good idea to have Kamala Harris on the ticket. I think that it damages Biden, but we've got to wait and see, because in party it won't damage anything. It's really about the independent voters, and the thing is, Kamala's somewhere in the middle of the far left to far left sort of metric, and that makes her, according to these people, a moderate. They're already trying to label her a moderate. My goodness, you listen to what she said during the debates and during her campaign and the proposals that she's made, it's not even remotely moderate. As little as 2 or 3 years ago, she would have been cast off as one step from communism having a platform like that. In 2016, Sanders was crucified and Hillary Clinton's proposals were the ones that were considered moderate. Almost too much so because, again, it didn't create any enthusiasm. Now, Biden's got none. People want to lick her heels. A variation of bootlicker because it's entirely based on the fact that these people don't want to get called racist or sexist. Especially the latter, I think, at this point. The people on the left, they look at the color of her skin and the fact that she doesn't have a Y chromosome, and they declare her to be specifically interesting and specifically electable because of that. But they don't want to look back through her record, and she's not going to talk about it. At the debates, expect her to skirt every question that Pence could make about her record. He should focus entirely on her past. And I know what her counter will be. Her slight twitch of the mouth, raised eyebrow, smarmy, finger-wagging sort of response will be, well, I want to talk about the future, not about the past. Oh, Mike, you're living in the 90s, or something like that. And it'll, be water off his back. It's not going to hurt with the Trump fans, the independents. Remember, in a debate, you're always trying to win over the people that are on the fence. You're not trying to win over your own fans. You're not trying to win over the other person. You're trying to convince the unbiased onlooker. I think Kamala has a problem with that. Her claim to fame in the election literally was one good debate performance. Shot out like a cannon. It was, oh, Kamala's inevitable. She's the next Hillary Clinton. I said, no, she's a flash in the pan is what she is. She's going to crash and burn and end up dropping out. And I thought it was great that she did before Tulsi Gabbard did. I thought that was wonderful. Be interesting. Will Tulsi Gabbard twist the knife a little bit? Will she handle the situation? That would be interesting. I expect her practically to change parties at some point, say, you know, fuck this shit because these people are a bunch of socialistic war pigs. They just want to blow up the world or something. Kamalaharris couldn't debate her way out of a paper bag, and she's definitely not fit to govern the country. And keep in mind, the vice president does have an important role. A lot of people think, I've seen people say, well, the vice president, she shouldn't even exist. The vice president delivers the vote in the Senate on a tie. That's important. And they're the second most powerful diplomat in the country. The president can't be everywhere at once. The vice president gets sent off to important other countries to meet with their dictators and so forth. And I don't think Kamalaharris is capable of doing that very ably. So I'm not going to be licking any heels. Unfortunately, a lot of people will. That's about all. Peace out.